to the Red Wagon Estate Planning and Elder Law Show, hosted by me, yours truly, Jeffrey Bellomo, where we discuss all things estate planning and elder law, and, well, hey, anything else we want to talk about. Today is going to fall squarely on the estate planning and elder law arena with one of my favorite people in the whole world, Amber Rivera, and soon to be Amber Rivera Bones. Amber, how you doing today?
I am wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I've been looking forward to this podcast for a long time. So before we get into that, of course, as always, I have to do a quick disclaimer because after all, I am a lawyer, right? So just remember, please do not take what you hear from this show or any other show for that matter to constitute legal advice. If you're looking for legal advice on a certain situation pertaining to a certain matter, please contact an attorney licensed in the state that you reside and someone who, in a perfect world, practices in the area that you are looking for advice, and meet with them one-on-one, and then and only then should you take what you hear to constitute legal advice. You should take what you hear from informational or from shows, podcasts, radio shows for informational, entertainment, and educational purposes only. At Bellomo Associates, we offer free educational workshops in the areas of estate planning, life care planning, crisis Medicaid planning, special needs planning, and administration after a loved one passes, with trust and probate administration. We would love for you to see one of our workshops and get the advice that you need and the education that you need regarding those matters. All right, now that we have the background out of the way, Amber, tell us a little bit about yourself, and maybe most importantly, how did you and I meet?
Well, crazy story. I was a waitress for a local restaurant that is not in business anymore. It was called the York Blue Moon, not to be confused with the Blue Moon Cafe, which was owned by Chef David. It was owned by Daryl and Janine Tobin, who I worked for nearly 8 years. It's crazy. John Harold, local attorney, friends with Jeff, came to the Blue Moon with Jeff one day over lunch and made the introduction. My family is friends with Harold family. John is a cousin to Dr. Warren Harold, and Warren, my great-grandmother, worked for. She was his nanny, and when he would turn on the porch light, because he had to do a house call, she would run across the street and take care of the kids while he went to do his business. So fast forward to today, 10 years later, I have been working for Jeff because of the introduction from John. Jeff and Whitney came into the Blue Moon all the time, and I had Whitney's chocolate martini and Jeff's unsweetened iced tea or Diet Coke, whichever was the choice of the evening, and his sometimes occasional Grey Goose on the rocks with his palm tree of limes around the rim.
Absolutely.
And their Bang Bang Shrimp delivered to the table. And in conversation that evening, Whitney said to Jeff, very, very wise woman, said to Jeff, there's your client service coordinator. Apparently, the chair before me had been very revolving, and Jeff called me on a Saturday afternoon. I was in Ocean City, and he said, hey, I have a crazy idea. Would you like to come in for an interview? And I was like, okay, cool. I had a 1.5-year-old daughter at the time, and I was looking for something more stable, and I went from the English Towers on Saturday afternoon to a conference room at 3030 East Market Street. And that was at 10 a.m. And by 1 p.m. I had the job. That was 10 years later. Here we are.
Crazy. You know, as you were telling it, like I do remember that night. And I remember just having the conversation with Whitney, although she's not in the business, daily. Obviously, she's my spouse. She's owner of the firm with me. And I was just complaining, I think, mostly, if nothing else, about the revolving door and how hard it is and how important the role is, and how I think that for a lot of people, they don't take it seriously. And I said, you need someone. It's the first impression, right? It's the first impression of the firm, first person you see, first person you hear in a lot of cases. And I was like, you just need someone who gets it. You just need, and as you were just bringing things without us even having to order them because we'd been there so often, Whitney was like, she's right there, Jeff. She's right there. And at that time, I think that was a little out of the norm for people to think outside the box like that. I mean, now anybody who knows us knows that my favorite people to hire are people that teach my daughter dance, or, people that I see waiting on me at restaurants, or, I mean, it's not uncommon for me to hand somebody my business card and say, if you're ever looking for a job, let me know. But back then, I don't think that was nearly as common as it is now. And,
Right.
some of my best hires were in those situations. And I give all the credit in the world to Whitney and that original conversation at Blue Moon. So I can't believe it's been 10 years, though, either.
I know, it's pretty wild, right? It's been, wow,
Yeah.
it's been quite a ride.
And I imagine as you were a waitress at, you said the York Blue Moon, right?
Yes.
That you never thought about working in a law firm, is my guess.
I certainly didn't. I mean, I had no law training at all. I mean,
Yeah.
I could argue a case, I could play one on TV maybe, but
Yeah.
an attorney, no, that was definitely not something I was ever considering or working in a law firm ever. So yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, any of the clients that we've had as part of our maintenance program that have been around for years, 100% of the time, how's Amber doing? How's Amber's kids? How's the family? What's going on in her life? And, I think that everyone thinks of Bellomo Associates. You think of two people, right? You think of Jeff and Amber. And it's been a long time, but it's so cool.
Yeah.
So just out of curiosity, what's your favorite things, or, what about your job or about what we do, or what stands out for you?
Well, I am very much, as you know, over the years, I'm very much a coddler. I love, love, love people. And I think that customer service is imperative. I think that too often we get so complacent in our lives and we are mean. Sometimes people are just mean. And it just takes a little bit of kindness and some patience and listening to what the person really needs. And I naturally just do that. Like, I want to just take all of the people and stick them under my pillow and protect them from this crazy world. So that's probably my favorite part. We help, the help that we give people. Like, we just really instill in them and invest in them and make sure that they are seen through just everything. I mean, we just help. We always have their back. And that means the most to me. The fact that we help people the way that we do, that's the value in what we do. We just help them, and I love that. So
Yeah, you and I were talking earlier today, and you were mentioning about how you went and saw one of our clients, and we'll talk here in a minute about what exciting news you have going on soon, and the fact that you're going to be away for a few days. But you went to say goodbye to a client, and I was thinking, about what we do and all the wonderful things. And that's got to rank up there as some of the hardest things. I think we really do become family. And it just hit me as we were talking earlier about how that can be tough, and you were very, very emotional, and it is difficult.
yes, yeah, but it was necessary. I had to do that because I do love them, right? I mean, that's the relationship that you forge with these people. You just get to be, especially the Red Wagon Club people, they are people that I've known nearly my entire career here. And because I am that close and comfortable with them, it would have been like losing an uncle or a grandfather or something and not being able to say that goodbye, right?
Yeah.
And I am going to go away. And if that happens, at least I know that he knows how much I really was blessed by his, honored to have him part of my life. I'm a better person because I knew him. So
Yeah, and I think that a lot of times with lawyers, we get a bad rap and a bad name, and maybe some of it deserved from some other lawyers and things that have done over the years. But for us, I can tell you, it's all family, and we all take this very seriously. And as I was listening to you this morning, I was like, oh wow, like she's clearly broke up, and it's clearly difficult. And I think your words were, just in case, I need to know that I got to say goodbye and I got to have that conversation. I was like, wow, how powerful is that?
it was a 30-minute drive for a 7-minute conversation for a 30-minute drive back, but it was the best hour I ever spent because I got to make that. I got to do that. And if I get to come home and he's still here, then I get to do it again. But at least I got to do it today.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And no regrets on your end as far as, man, I never got to say goodbye, or he didn't know how I felt, or
Amen.
So that's crazy. Yeah. I mean, that's amazing. You don't hear about that very often. But that's a testament to you. And, I always say this, that I certainly, you set the bar very high. I'm not going to say that there will never be another Amber, at the director of first impressions role, but boy, you certainly set that role high. And man, our clients love you. You've been around, and now you've moved into other areas and doing some other things within the firm, and helping out in life care planning and doing a lot of the notaries. And but that you certainly set that bar for client service and
Yeah.
just service in
It's an
general.
easy job to do, right? I mean, that's what I've done my entire life. All I've ever done is customer service. And so I've always just wanted to, but again, it's a job that you can burn out from easily, right? Because you constantly have to be on, right? You just constantly have to be on. And some days I have bad days and some days I want to. And the light, remember to smile, never hurts, right? Remember to smile. That never hurts.
You were telling that story. What was it? You were answering a phone call and I said smile, or I don't even remember what that was. Is that what happened?
Because I was upset about the gentleman before, the phone call that I was dealing with the time before. He was very upset with another firm. Somebody had burnt him and he was calling our firm and taking out his aggression on me. And
Oh, wow.
past Amber was surfacing. And I think you may have heard it surfacing and reminded me to, before I answered that next call, to smile. And that resonates. It goes a long way when you're reminded, oh my gosh, you're entering a uncharted water. You shouldn't go to that Amber. Let's remember to smile and be the Amber that you are. It helped. It helped for sure because that guy was tough and I was trying to be tougher. And
Right. It really does, though. I mean, there's actually science behind it that when you smile, it changes the structure of your jaw and your face and it actually makes you sound happier, whether you actually are or not.
right.
And I think probably too, you laughed probably a little bit too because I was saying that smile as the phone was ringing.
Yep.
That's awesome.
It worked.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. So while we're on that topic, tell us the exciting news that you have.
After 17 years of calling him my husband, a title that he will earn on Friday, April 26th, we are going to officially make it, I'm going to be a Bones. And so I will have the same last name as my kids. I was a stepmom before I was a mom, and we shared a lot of these kids' lives and a lot of things together. And now I am officially going to be his wife, and my kids are ecstatic, and it's great. Like, it's crazy. It feels different, even though it's not going to be different at all, right? We've lived together and we've been together 17 years, so nothing's going to change.
Right.
Except it just feels different. I'm officially going to be a wife and actually can say my husband and it be like 100% true. Even though
nobody knows that it's not.
Right, because common law is not a thing anymore, right? So we could have been common law twice over plus, but that's not a thing anymore. So I will really legit be somebody's wife. So,
I can't wait. It's going to be very fun to be there and to be in the room.
To walk me down the aisle. Yes.
I'm very excited about that. It was very much an honor, and I wasn't going to bring that up if you didn't, but I'm very excited about it. It is, I think what it means the most to me is that a lot of people work at places, and it's a job, and it's a person you work with, or a boss, or whatever you want to call it, and certainly being able to do that and be with you on your special day and walk you down the aisle is more than just someone you work with or a boss,
right. Yeah, that was very important to me because there are people that I could have said, hey.
For sure.
But I didn't, when it came to mine and it was a thing and we were really doing this, I was like, I can't do this without Jeff. Like, it's been a whirlwind, right? 10 years, a lot of things, life happens, right? So there's been a lot of highs, a lot of highs, but there's been some lows. And you were there for them all, and I just...
Yeah, we both experienced some loss.
Not my boss, but my friend.
Yeah. Which brings me to a whole other story. Oh, but before I get there, I mean, we've definitely both experienced some loss together, and a lot of highs, but certainly when you lose a loved one, it's a tough thing to know you have people around you. I don't remember, you probably know who it was, but I remember being introduced to you and you saying to one of your friends, "This is my boss," and I said, "Hi, I'm Jeff. I'm her friend. I'm her." What did I say? I'm your friend, or I'm your coworker. I don't remember what I said.
I'm not her. Where were we?
We were at outside of a. It was in a shopping mall area. I don't
Yeah.
remember.
I don't remember exactly, but I do remember, and I feel like it was. I don't even remember the exact friend either, but I was introducing you to someone that I knew from my past life, right?
Yep. Yep.
And you quickly corrected me and said, "I'm not her boss. I'm her friend, Jeff Bellomo. Nice to meet you."
It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
man.
my brother, Kevin's brother, technically, said he saw you out at a local restaurant not too long ago, and he said, "Jeff Bellomo," and you were like, "Do I know you? Should I know you?" And he said, "I'm Kevin. I'm Amber's brother," and you were like, "Doesn't really. I feel like I should know you if you're Amber's brother, right?" But he said, "Well, actually, Kevin's brother." But he said, "You're Amber's boss," and he said, "No, I'm not. I'm her friend." And that resonated with Greg. He was like, "Oh," he said, "No, I'm not her boss." Not her boss. So it just is a testament to you too, right? I mean, you don't. Your name is on the building, and you are, at the end of the day, you are the guy, right? You are the Bellomo. You're the Jeff in front of the Bellomo, right? But you've never made us feel like that. You've never made us feel like we couldn't come to you with whatever we needed to come to you with, right? And that's,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's
You know, when you work at other places, and certainly I had some wonderful opportunities and wonderful experiences, but that was certainly something that I wanted to make sure that people felt like, they weren't afraid, or that they wanted. I want people to feel like that I'm approachable, and that you can talk to me, and that I am, and I know to some people are like, I don't want to be their friend. Well, you know what? I think you can do both. I don't think it has to
right.
be
I
more.
think that people show up for you because you show up for us, right? Like people
Right.
want to go the extra mile because it's not like a job to them. I don't come to work hard. I come to work with my family pretty much. I mean, I see you
Yeah.
guys more than I do my own family sometimes, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
spend more time in a day with you all, whether it's, some people on Zoom or not. It's extended family, and you
Yeah.
have to, it makes coming to work easier, much easier. Like I don't come, it's not hard to come
Right.
and do the work that we do and work with the people that I work with, because we all have a great relationship. And I know that it sounds cliche. I mean, whatever that means to some people are going to hear this and they're going to be like, "Oh yeah, right. They don't really have, we really do. Like there's no bad eggs in our bunch, right? We really have a great, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It used to be, there were times when I came to work, and I'm pretty tough. I don't cry easily. I mean, let's be honest, I do cry. I'm emotional, but about things that I care about, right? I
Right.
get emotional when I care about those things. But people don't make me cry very easily. If they're mean to me, I don't cry. I get mean back. And instead, there were times when I was sitting in an office behind closed doors, and I was crying, and I'm like, "Why am I crying?" And so I don't do that anymore, right? It's
Right. I love
happy,
it.
healthy.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, certainly you're. It's fun watching you're just where you are in your headspace right now and in your life. I mean, it's amazing just to see you. I've never seen you this happy before. I've never seen you in all aspects of your life. I think your friends, your family, everything is just, and even at work. I mean, I think that you're doing some things now that you really love and enjoy, and I don't think that you're burning out, from doing the repetitious stuff, and that's really cool.
Yeah, it is. It is. Thank you. Because
And
it is.
we,
It's super.
it's funny. We have our maintenance event, our Red Wagon Club picnic, coming up here soon, and I've had a lot of maintenance families that I've seen recently in the Red Wagon Club saying to me, "Okay, well, I'll see you, at the picnic, right? Yeah, and Amber will be there, right?" Yes, Amber will be there too. It is funny just how much with that group, especially. For a lot of them, you were the one at the front at the time, and for the ones that you weren't at the front, you were the ones who, maybe did the signing with them, or you were the one who did the notary with them, or you were the one who did the implementation workshop with them. So regardless of the relationship, you are the one constant, probably even more than me, because I'm not always in meetings anymore. So I don't actually see a lot of the newer clients, but you're pretty much the constant that everybody sees.
Yeah, it's weird because I will get sometimes phone calls where people will not really need me. Like the question that they're asking is not really one that I need to be the answerer of, but because they're comfortable with me and they know me, they'll call and just ask for me. And I'll get Jacob and he'll say, "Hey, it's blah, blah, blah" on the phone. And I'm like, "Okay, I'll take it."
Right.
Even though the question, he very well could have looked up an action step and answered himself.
Yeah. Yeah. But they just
are
wanted to hear your
comfortable
voice.
and Yep. Which
Yeah.
I like
There's a
that,
few.
As long as
Yeah.
they're happy, right? That's what makes me happy. So
I mean, there was a few clients over the years that I would come into a room and they're like, "Well, I'd like to just talk to Amber." Fair enough. Yeah, me too. Let's go see her together.
yeah, so
Oh,
it's been
that's
fun.
awesome. Yeah, it's been a wonderful ride, and you know, loving having your children as well. I mean, because I've got to see them kind of grow up, really, from birth, and it's been incredible to just have them part of the family as well. And we were able to experience a cruise a few years ago for the Bellomo 10-year anniversary, and it was just fun to be on that and spend that time together with your family. So.
Yeah. Yeah, Karis talks about that often. She's building her life around working for Jeff Bellomo. So
Oh, geez.
she's going to be an attorney, though. I told her that she can come work for Jeff as long as it's not anything but an attorney. So she is definitely geared toward working for Jeff, doing the work that Jeff does, but from a Jeff attorney standpoint instead of a mommy client service standpoint.
Oh, I didn't know that. That is so cool.
Yeah. So
Man, let's
never
hope
the
I'm
jury's
still.
out on what that kid's going to be. But,
Let's hope I'm still practicing and alive. When.
well, you will be, but maybe Dion will be running the firm by then. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, she's. It depends on the week, depends on the month, depends on the day. But currently, she's back to, probably doing something in college that really excites her and that she would enjoy. But she's back to thinking law school now. So she kind of has gone back and forth a little bit. So we'll see. In the times that she's not going to, I don't say a word. I know that that's probably going to change another 200 times between now
Correct.
and when she's in, she's only a freshman in high school. So we still have a lot of years before she has to make that call. But it is kind of exciting to know that there's still a chance, I don't
Yeah.
remember what that
So you're
movie
saying
was,
there's
but
a
you're
chance.
saying there's a chance. What is that? Is that Dumb and Dumber?
Yes.
Oh, wow. What
So
a
you're
good
saying
one.
there's a chance. Yep.
Yeah, so very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. Awesome. Well, anything you want to talk to the listeners about? I'm thinking this has been a perfect radio show here today.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you are not a client of ours and you are listening to this and you need this stuff, I mean, just know that, I really am not pulling the wool right now. This is really our practice. This is really how much we care and give and want to help. And I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy the work that we do and the people that we are helping. I just can't even believe that the life care planning department has grown as much as it has, and that I'm able to help out there now. And it's really been a joy to watch the growth. And I mean, I was the fourth employee realistically that moved to this building with you. There were four of us that moved to this new building that you essentially bought, right? We aren't leasing anymore. This is your forever home. Mm-hmm. And I was one of four when we started, and now we have how many people that do all of the good things that we do. And so it speaks volumes to the people that you surround yourself with and your crazy ideas, right? I mean, the dance teacher that's now running your company, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think we're 34 now. It is awesome, and I think it's succeeding. I'm not running the firm, which is I think a good thing because that's certainly not my strength. But it's always my heart. I always say you can run it how you see fit, but don't ever lose sight of my heart. That's where it was started, and I'd like to keep that as much as we can. And you raised something that probably is a great way to end the podcast today. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the life care planning, since it is something that not a lot of firms have, particularly in this area. What would you say to somebody? What is life care planning? What does it mean to you? What have you seen as a value add that we're able to provide, or any comment there? I know you've been kind of involved in it.
I've been dipping my toes in life care planning, and I've been learning. It's a little out of my comfort zone because it's a lot of medical stuff, right? A lot of terms that are foreign to me because I am not a nurse, and that's not, but the customer service coddling aspect of me really I'm finding is very helpful, because I can make a phone call and I can say, hey, this is X, Y, and Z about this client. How can you help? And I can write emails and I can schmooze with the best of them. But getting to the heart of what Meg does, Meg's one person, and she makes it happen, but she needs the additional help. And I'm glad to be able to help, because it makes me happy. Like, it makes me happy to be able to help these people, because they're in tough spots, right? The family, caregiver burnout's a real thing. And the family to be able to help and assist them is important, because they get stressed out, and you want them to be able to be present with their parent, right? And so that's where we step in. We want them to be able to just go and visit and not have to worry about all of the extras, as long as we can, help to get the information. So,
yeah, when you were telling the story, right, so we were talking earlier about you going to say goodbye potentially to one of our clients. It kind of dawned on me that, Meg every single day has such a relationship with a lot of these people, assisting them when they're potentially in their home, having to make the transition to keep the home safer, or to the assisted living, or to the nursing, or to hospice. And she's that person who kind of guides them as a licensed social worker. She probably has 50 of those stories, and you and I just have a couple, because of the relationship that we have with that department. Maybe not in it every day, but certainly dabbling a little bit. And for her, that's her daily. I mean, how many emails do we get a week about somebody passing, or her saying goodbye to somebody? I can't imagine the emotional roller coaster,
right.
Because, you and I were talking about our client earlier, and we're both very emotional about it. And she's going through that several times a week.
Yeah.
Which is, wow. I couldn't do that. I could not do it.
I know.
So.
She always says, she sends me an email and says, get the Kleenexes ready. I'm like, oh my God.
I know, right?
That's
crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to just, as always, thank my listeners. I hope you enjoyed. This was very special for me. Amber is one of my best friends in the world. And, certainly, as she said, one of the originals at Bellomo Associates. And she celebrated 10 years with us. And, I'm looking forward to 20 and beyond. So it's been a great ride and great fun. And for those clients out there listening, I know you know who Amber is. And for those of you who don't, she's a great person to know, a great person to have in your corner. And there's nobody I'd rather have on my back. So thank you for listening. If you're looking for any estate planning advice, elder law advice, please check out Bellomo Associates at 717-845-5390. Or on the web at www.bellomoassociates.com. That's B as in boy, ELLOMO. Well, thank you again for being here, Amber. I had so much fun. I really appreciate it. And I'd like to, again, thank the listeners. And until next time, on the Red Wagon Estate Planning and Elder Law Show, I'm Jeff Bellomo. We'll see you real soon.